Hi everybody, it's Dr. Alex at LifeSprout Chiropractic, and we are back with our second webinar of this month on moving well, and also, as a side note, why the shake weight is killing our country. So I think I have finally figured out the whole screen sharing thing, but we're gonna hope so. And let's go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna go through this PowerPoint, hopefully it'll work. So, why the shake weight is killing our country. I'm going to start us off with a quote here. There are those who think they have no time for bodily exercise. Or those who think they have no time for bodily exercise will sooner or later have to find time for illness. And this was said by Edward Stanley. Just some fun facts for you. About 5.3 million of the 57 million deaths worldwide in 2008 could be attributed to inactivity. The new report estimates largely due to 4 major diseases: heart disease, type 2 diabetes, breast cancer, and colon cancer. The study finds that if physical inactivity could be reduced by just 10%, it could avert some 533,000 deaths a year. If reduced by 25%, 1.3 million deaths could be prevented. Say we got everyone off the couch and eliminated inactivity altogether, the life expectancy of the world's population would rise by about 0.68 years. So that's about a little over half a year longer life expectancy. More if you discount those who are already active. And this is comparable to the effect of doing away with smoking or obesity. So inactivity and lack of activity is definitely a big problem in our country, and it's leading to a lot of issues, especially in our youth. And if we're going to just run through a few more fun facts. And a lot of this, it has to do with technology. Even, I'm the mother of a 2.5-year-old, and we're guilty of having a little bit too much screen time. So some more facts: less than 5% of adults participate in 30 minutes of physical activity each day. So that's a little scary. Looks like my screen's working. I was just checking. Children spend more than 7.5 hours each day in front of a screen. It's terrible. They're not up in the world looking around. And, it's not necessarily our fault. We have these fun little gadgets like iPads and iPhones, and they're easy and they can sometimes babysit the kid for us, but it's becoming a problem in our country for sure. And then 33% of high school students play 3+ hours of video or computer games each school day. So not only are our brains are literally rotting, if we have to put it one way. I'm sorry if I'm being direct, but we have to go over this because I feel like we all need motivation to get up and get our butts active every day. So we have poor standards that have been set, which consist of waking up via an alarm, jumping in the shower before work, grabbing a cup of coffee, getting to the office, coming home, eating dinner, and then going to sleep, while bypassing any physical activity. And when it comes to our kids, the lack of movement is even more severe because more often than not, kids are coming home from school, sitting on the couch and texting, playing video games, and talking to friends on Facebook without moving their bodies. As a side note, something I actually like is the Wii, because it gets you up off the couch and has you at least moving while you're playing a video game. But total side note. So it feels like only yesterday when it was normal for children to play outside, sweat, get dirty, get yelled at for staying out too late with their friends, playing ball, and then going to sleep because of energy depletion, since it was actually used during physical activity. And it also seems like yesterday when adults used to wake up and go to the gym, watch an aerobics video, or do push-ups and crunches simply to get the day started right. We used to do these things, so what's happened? So the World Health Organization, the WHO, recently released a study on physical activity or lack thereof. And I'm going to share with you what they found. There's 8 different things, and they're a little bit scary, so just brace yourself. Number 1, physical inactivity, the lack of physical exercise, is the 4th leading risk factor for global mortality, meaning it's the 4th thing that's killing us. 2, regular physical activity helps to maintain a healthy body. This is true, we know this. 3, physical activity can include sports or hobbies. 4, both moderate and vigorous intensity physical activity bring health benefits. Gets your heart rate up, gets your blood pumping, gets sweat going, so we're going to talk about all this stuff, but it's all good things. 5, people aged 5 to 17 must accumulate at least 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous Physical activity daily. Amounts of physical activity greater than 60 minutes provide additional health benefits. 6. Adults aged 18 to 64 should do at least 150 minutes of moderately intense physical activity throughout the week, or at least 75 minutes of vigorous activity throughout the week, or an equivalent combination of moderate and vigorous activity. You have to love the World Health Organization. In order to be beneficial for cardiorespiratory health, all activities should be performed in bouts of at least 10 minutes duration. 7. The main recommendations for adults and older adults are the same. In addition, older adults with poor mobility should do physical activity to enhance balance and prevent falls 3 or more days per week. When older adults cannot do the recommended amount of physical activity due to health conditions, they should be as physically active as their abilities and conditions allow. Number 8, inactive people should start with small amounts of physical activity and gradually increase duration, frequency, and intensity over time. Inactive adults, older adults, and those with disease limitations will have added health benefits when they become more active. So some things that I just said might be, and I was literally just reading that if you can't tell, some of them might be obvious, but my question to you is, are you active? And you know, a lot of people who come in and see me, they are active at their job, or they're, I guess active is a relative term here, but you know, we have a lot of blue collar, heavy labor people in the Fairbanks community. And so there's a level of activity every day. You're not just sitting behind a desk all day long. And so, you know, I'll let you count that. As long as you're working up a sweat, we can count. And we're going to talk about here in just a minute 8 strategies for how to get moving and sustain it and not just kind of peter out and get frustrated with trying to get to the gym every day. So the title of this report is, or what we're talking about, this webinar, Move Well, Why the Shake Weight is Killing Our Country. And the reason for this is it's for the whole, I don't know if you are familiar with the shake weight. It's that thing they advertise on TV while you're sitting in front of your screen where you sit on the couch and shake the weight and you're supposed to lose weight. It's just so not true and not helpful in any way that it's terrible. And I'm probably going to get in trouble for talking against whatever company made that thing, but it's like, if I shake this device in an awkward motion, I'm active. And guess what? You're not. Shaking your arms or sitting on the couch with a vibrating belt is not making you active, which is what you need in order to avoid becoming a statistic. So I'm being a little abrupt here, or bold. If it bothers you, I apologize. But I'm on a mission here to get people healthy and get people well. That's really what our whole office is about. And I do it through chiropractic, but I also do it through educating people on ways to stay healthy. And so this is a huge one. 4th leading cause of death, let's address it. So let's dig into some strategies. If you're not motivated yet, we'll get you there. But let's dig you into some strategies on how to get moving and stay healthy and be moving well. So here's strategy 1. We already talked about that. Strategy 1, make it sustainable. Here's the problem. We get a lot of people, and I've been guilty of this. You get excited. You're like, I'm going to start working out again, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to get up at 4 a.m. and go to the gym every day before I go to work at 6, and I'm going to have my shower and my protein shake, and you know, I'm going to do this 7 days a week, and I'm going to start in the middle of November in Fairbanks, Alaska, when it's dark and cold and rainy or snowy, and no one wants to do anything. So tell me, is that actually sustainable? You might make it through a week, but you see my point? At some point, you're going to be like, screw this. And that whole plan that you were so excited about for about 5 minutes will go out the window. So let's instead not try to go from 0 to 900 miles an hour in 1 week or overnight, but instead just start basic and approach this not as I'm going to lose weight or I'm going to look good or any of that. That's, you know, those things happen as a result of working out, but that's not why we exercise. You know, you exercise to feel better, to have your body working better, to be healthier overall. So instead of doing what we just described, the total insanity, start your morning with a 10 to 20 minute walk or cardio session. If you don't want to go to the gym, a lot of times I do like a 20-minute workout and I'm running in place, I'm doing jumping jacks, I'm I'm crazy and do burpees. So, if you're not at that level yet, just something to get your body moving and your heart rate up and going. And if anyone needs ideas or help on this, you can email me at dralex@lifesproutchiro.com. I have lots of different things if you need low impact or versus high impact versus whatever you need. I've been around lots of different exercise for quite a while now. So, it loosens up your joints, it gets your blood flowing, and you don't learn to play basketball by just shooting three-pointers all the time. So why would you start training if you've been pretty inactive for a while now? Why would you start training by jumping in like you're playing in a game and shooting a bunch of three-pointers? So that's strategy number 1. Make it sustainable. Don't take on too much at once. We're talking like maybe 2 to 3 days a week if you've been totally inactive. That's where we're going to start, and we're going to build from there. There we go. So strategy 2, you want to get sweaty. I always loved when I was in chiropractic school. I was quite into working out in chiropractic school and hung out with all the meatheads, as I called them. They're all great guys, but they were meatheads. They're the guys with the big arms and the skinny legs. We'll just put it that way. Beside the point. But I would go get changed in the locker room, and there'd be a bunch of girls, and they're all applying makeup before they go work out. And I'm like, if you're really going to go work out, why are you putting your makeup on? It made no sense to me. And so the idea behind this, why I'm sharing this little story, is if you're not getting sweaty during your workout or during your exercise, whatever it is that you're doing, and we'll get into a whole list of things you can do, then you're not really getting any benefit from it. So if you're not working hard enough to get your sweat going, and I know we live in Fairbanks, and when it's 40 below, it's hard to get sweaty, but it can still happen. Crank up your heat in your house and do a bunch of push-ups, and I promise you'll start sweating. So, sweating is important because it improves your skin, it lowers body temperature, it can fight sickness, it can do a whole bunch of other things. And it also means that you're working hard trying to get somewhere. So let's just, if you had someone come do landscaping for you, I had to pause for a drink there, and they come to give you the bill for $200 and they are completely clean and don't look like they've done anything, are you really going to want to pay them for the work that you're not really sure happened? No. So get sweaty. Be proud of it. Don't be embarrassed. Sweat is important. It gets all the toxins out. So just let's do it. Let's get sweaty this winter. Moving on to strategy 3. A great way to start building your endurance and your fitness level is, if you're going through some reps of something, or you're going for a walk, you go 1 more minute, 1 more rep. Just try to push yourself a little farther each time you go. And as you do that, you're going to get stronger, you're going to start feeling better, and you'll be able to get your fitness level up more quickly, but without being completely insane and killing yourself in the gym for a week and then not working out for 4 months. So that's the idea. So we start pushing ourselves a little bit. Maybe you're working out, you're doing something 3 days a week, and 1 or 2 of those days you do the one more time. But the point is, push yourself, make it count, get sweaty, make it sustainable. Here we go. Those are the first 3. Next, number 4 is make it fun. And I think, this photo is kind of comical in many ways, but a lot of the classes that they've designed for exercise for the elderly population, they're just fun. There's stuff that I want to go to, like Zumba water aerobics and all kinds of, there's crazy stuff. So there's a lot of things out there. And there's stuff you can do that you don't have to belong to a gym. You don't have to take time out of your day to go somewhere. If you're someone who cleans your house all the time, why not run in place or do some jumping jacks while you're vacuuming, or turn up some music really loud and just dance around your kitchen while you're cooking? There's all kinds of stuff you can do to just be moving and up and down. My son he calls it zooming. We tie a towel around him and he has a cape and he zooms back and forth, and he likes if we zoom with him. So while I'm doing something, in between whatever I'm doing, I'm up and I'm zooming around our house with him. Which zooming means running really fast, which for me is walking, speed walking. But you can hire a trainer, join a new facility, or simply take something that you love to do, even if it's watching TV, but, put a treadmill in front of the TV like they do in the gym, or get up, I do workout videos, so I'm watching TV, but I have someone that's pushing me working out with me sometimes. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I just go out and run. And I actually am someone who likes to run in the cold, so, or go skiing. But just create an environment where you're up, you're moving, you're having fun, and you're getting sweaty. So there we go. And then our next one is you want to become obsessed, but in a good way. I just had a conversation with my dad, actually, and my younger brother has recently taken an unhealthy obsession with things like drugs and other things, and he's become very obsessed with cross-country skiing and training for cross-country skiing. He's in Vermont. And so, you know, it's maybe still somewhat addictive behavior, but his obsession is now in a new realm, and it's a healthy one, and he's in incredible shape and looks great, and you know, I'm really, really proud of him. So you want to take that, if you're obsessed with a TV show, you want to bring that same kind of excitement and obsession into your workout. And studies have shown that if you focus your mind on the muscles you're working, and this is kind of the idea we have with that, they will actually respond better. So if you can, you know, if you're a science nerd, get out a Google or get out an anatomy textbook of some kind and just look at what muscles you're working when you do certain movements. You can also, all the machines at the gym have those. But if you're visualizing what the groups look like as they're contracting and relaxing, it can actually help you build muscle stronger and get stronger faster. Just kind of an interesting tidbit. And yeah, I'm lost place of where I want to go. So, you know, I've done lots of visualization in other areas. I've visualized with running a marathon. You can, you know, visualize different points on where you're trying to get. If you're walking and you're doing a hilly walk or a hilly climb of some kind, you know, visualize getting to the top of the hill and how you're going to feel. And chances are you're going to get there faster, believe it or not. So that's something fun to do. And here we go to number 6. Make it functional. So functional means really dynamic motion. And I'm going to just list a series of 10 exercises. Some of you will know what these are. Some of you are going to have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. If you're one of the ones who don't know what I'm talking about, feel free to come in or email me. Again, it's dralex@lifesproutchiro.com. And I can go over with you what all these look like. But the idea is we have 10 exercises. You do them in succession. You don't take a break in between, and so you're getting your heart rate up really high and not really letting it come back down for a period of time. And so that's how you're going to burn the most fat that way and get your sweat going easily that way. And this also helps keep you flexible is another reason why we're talking about this. So number 1 is a medicine ball squat with overhead lift. 2, and if I'd been more on top of things, I can have slides with all this stuff, but again, if you want to know, you can either Google them or email me and I'll get something together to send you. 2 is stair climb with a bicep curl. So as you're climbing up the stairs, you just do a bicep curl. And you don't even need weights if you just contract the muscles. Again, we're visualizing, we're contracting the muscles as we climb up the stairs and do our bicep curls. Hip extension with reverse fly. Email me on that one if you don't know what it is. Diagonal reach with a medicine ball. And with anything diagonal or where you're crossing the body, just be sure you're bracing your low back. Otherwise, you will be seeing me. Lunge with back row. Lunges, don't let your knees go in front of your toes. Knee lift with lateral raise. Push up with hip extension. Torso rotation with medicine ball. I think another word for this is Russian twist. Again, make sure that your abs are engaged, your low back is protected, and if you have any low back soreness, I would drop the medicine ball or not do it. A supine bridge with arm extension. Another word for this is bird dog. And then a dynamic prone plank. So I have many of you do planks when you come into my office. But ideally, if you're doing them to get strong, you know, we just test your static ability to hold a plank to test your core strength and how well your spine's being supported. But if you're doing them to get strong, you want to be moving during your planks. So you can either pick one foot up and then the other. There's something called plank pikes. You can go up and down from an elbow plank to where you're up on your hands and just back and forth like that. But all these things, so that was 10 things altogether, and you want to perform them in one giant superset, which means there's no break until all 10 are completed. And so, you know, you judge where you're at. Maybe you start with like 1 rep of each, or maybe you do each thing for 45 seconds and then you move into the next thing, or maybe you do it for 15 seconds and move into the next thing. You kind of be the judge of where you're at, but you want to do, and then you try it for 1 set, and if you can do 1 set, then you try for another set after you take a little break. So if anyone has any questions on that, let me know. But that's kind of the idea, is to get moving and then bring flexibility and mobility and all of that into it. It's not that you're just standing there lifting weights too, although that is good for you as well. All right, so number 7 is get a partner. You're so much more likely to actually get out and do some of this stuff if you have someone to do it with who's encouraging you, and you're not just, if it's only up to you whether you get out of bed and go for a walk, you're probably not going to do it. I know for me, if I tell, Fritz is actually usually my workout buddy. He's either in the stroller, or if I do more of the dynamic stuff we just talked about, he puts on a pair of my running shorts and he'll come work out with me, and it's about the cutest thing I've ever seen. But if I tell him in the morning if we're going to go like run up hills, I do hill sprints with him in the stroller sometimes. If we're going to go do that afternoon, I'll be talking to him about it throughout the day. And so he's asking, he's like, Mom, when are we going to go run? When are we going to go do it? And he doesn't really say it like that, but he's like, Mom, you go run now? Let's go run. And so it keeps me motivated, and he's with me while I'm doing it. And so he'll say, faster, faster. And I'm, sprinting, gasping up a hill, and he's like, faster, faster. So it's great motivation. So it doesn't have to be a kid. I wouldn't hesitate if you're worried about getting into working out because you're a parent and you don't know how to make time for it. Include them. They'll enjoy it. But they also make great weights, by the way. But, it can be a friend. It can be your spouse. It can be someone who will help you stay accountable and get you out of bed in the morning, or get you doing something before you go to bed at night. So that's what I have to say about that. And that way everybody wins and everybody's working out. And here's our last strategy, is number 8, is to boogie. They've actually done research on this now. I don't approve of necessarily running with headphones in, but if you find races where they play music, like the Beat Beethoven 5K here in Fairbanks, it's just so much fun because every part of the course you can hear the whole symphony playing. I'm a violinist, so maybe that's why I love it, but it keeps you excited, it keeps you pumped up. But they've actually done some research at Brunel University, and it's confirmed that listening to music while you exercise can increase your endurance by up to 15%. And so there's some things that go specifically with this, but such as it found that only certain music genres aid the workout, and some music is totally inappropriate. So because of that, if it's slow, kind of mellow music, it's not going to get you going. It has to be music. If anyone does CPR training, you're going to love this range, but it has to have at least 120 to 140 beats per minute. Produces the maximum results. So there's actually marathons now. There's a Run to the Beat London Half Marathon where the featured music along the route all have that range of beats, and so it's designed to have the athletes perform at their top potential. So, I don't know how to really help you gauge what music has the right beat number to it. I think like from CPR training, it's around 115 to 120 beats per minute. It's like Another One Bites the Dust is one of those songs that falls into that range. So just something to think about. And so here we are, we're at the end. If you're not motivated yet, I don't know what to tell you. But here's my closing motivation for you. So the intention of all this is to really open your eyes to the absolute necessity of moving your body. It's an essential habit that so many of us have lost, whether it's because we're too busy and we work too much and we drive everywhere and we sit at work, and we're literally becoming, I don't want to say blobs, but that's the word that comes to mind. I don't know if anyone has seen the movie WALL-E, but all the people on the ship are floating in chairs because they're so overweight and they've lost all their bone density. And so, not to totally freak anyone out, but our population is becoming more and more obese, and we're heading in that direction. And so, I really just want to encourage you. This winter, we're coming into the dark time. You're going to feel so much better if you're out moving, exercising, just getting your heart rate up, and you can do it dancing around in your kitchen. You don't have to go to the gym. But just to share this one more time, if it hasn't sunk in yet, less than 5% of adults participate in 30 minutes of physical activity each day. Children spend more than 7.5 hours in front of a screen every day. And 33% of high school students play 3+ hours of video or computer games each school day. So you need to hear the truth, because there's nothing more important than your health. I think if some of you have heard my dinner talk, we talk about your #1 asset is your health. If you don't have your health, you really can't do anything else. And so our goal is not to scare you, it's not to create more stress in your life, and not to prevent you from enjoying yourself, because moving, getting up and doing this, it does require some work. It's going to require some commitment. It's going to require some partnering. And if you have kids, I would say partner with the kids. You know, everyone have a goal. Before you sit down to eat dinner, everyone does 10 minutes of jumping jacks and running in place, or, you know, runs up and down the stairs a couple times, or does something just to get the blood flowing, get the heart moving before you all sit down to eat and do your normal routine. That's a great way to start, actually. I like that one. So our goal, or my goal, is to help you become more aware of, one, why the shake weight is killing our country. So please don't use that thing. I'll give you you know, the Wii sports are great, and at least you're moving. I think there's even a Wii Fit now, and there's all kinds of stuff. So if your kids or you are way into video games, that's a great way to go. But the goal is at least 3 times each week for at least 30 minutes, you're up and moving and making sure you sweat. All right, so we are here for you. It's time to move well, and remember to let our family take care of yours. I hope you all enjoyed this. Next week, I will be back with our last in this series on thinking well. So take care, everybody. If you have questions, email Dr. Alex at lifesproutcairo. Dr. Alex at lifesproutcairo.com. And I look forward to talking to you all soon. Thanks for taking time to watch it. Bye.